Well, as July comes to a close, Major League Baseball teams have been busy. Joining me now is Bobby Santoro to talk about two of those teams, the Mets and Yankees, as we head into the final third of the season. Bobby Santoro, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here. Now, yeah, best time of the year for me. Trade deadline season is always the best.
Yeah, it's always fun and always interesting. Now, the Yankees, through most of July, played some very sloppy baseball, but they just took 2 out of 3 in their series against the Red Sox, and they also added some flair to their lineup with the acquisition of Jazz Chisholm, who came from the Miami Marlins. Now, what does this series against Boston and getting Chisholm in their lineup mean for the team's momentum as we head into August?
Yeah, to me, I mean the win, the series win is huge versus Boston, obviously, because if they were to lose the series or God forbid get swept, they would have been in a tough situation there in the division. Maybe looking like Boston would pass them in the division. What really went a long way was that Saturday night win, where it looked like no matter what the Yankees did, Boston was able to either come back and tie it or take the lead. So in being able to kind of win that game down to their last strike with Grisham having that big double, and then you see obviously Glaber kind of start to come alive here, which we'll see if he's still on the team at this time tomorrow or in 2 days from now. But it's a huge win, a huge momentum swing. Adding Jazz there, we saw last night in the game too. Like, I mean, he finally, when he gets on base, he's fast, and he had heads up base running, something this team has lacked, being able to take third base there too. So besides Chisholm had coming into last night, I think including last night now, 23 stolen bases. The next best person on the Yankees was Volpe with 18. So they need some more speed and athleticism, and he brings that kind of swagger that they might need as well to have more fun on the field, because it looks like they've been stiff lately.
100% he'll bring that flair. So the Mets have also been busy ahead of the trade deadline. They acquired a guy from the Nationals who's very familiar to Mets fans, Jesse Winker. Now, they just split the series with the Braves. Should Mets fans be positive heading into August?
Yeah, you should be positive. Now, one thing that I think kind of will make them, maybe we saw a few Mets fans yesterday, actually, over on Twitter, kind of getting upset about the loss to the Braves. But the fact that they won the first two and lost the second two, that's kind of what maybe might make it a little bit, nerve wracking that they weren't able to kind of complete the series or get a series win. So they're right there. It's a fun season for them. Winker is going to be someone who he pinch hit last night, and he struck out, I think. But it's like Chisholm. He just got there, so it's a little, you got to give him some breathing room. Winker's always been a great pinch hitter. He's someone who can obviously, come into the game and have starts for you and be a great bat off the bench. But yeah, the Mets, I mean, really, they've kind of, placed themselves as a team maybe to make a run for the playoffs here. I know that they're right in position. I think they're in the third wild card spot as of last time I checked. So they will have to make some moves. They've made some trades already, but there's still a little bit more to do for them and a lot to do for the Yankees.
Yeah, these 3 wild card spots make things very, very interesting. Now, are the Yankees and Mets done as far as making moves, or can we expect more before the trade deadline, which I believe is tomorrow?
Right, it is tomorrow. We can expect a lot more. I'm thinking with the Yankees, they got more to do than Jazz. I was hoping maybe they would go after Tanner Scott as well, which they might. It just would have been nice to see that all in one trade. The other night, I know I think it was Saturday night. I was on the phone. I was talking to Danielle McCartan for WFAN, and we were talking about who they could possibly go out and get. And you look at with bullpen help. Tanner Scott is somebody, obviously, like I said. Estevez is already gone. They also have a kid in the minors. He just got called up to AAA, but I saw him pitch last year. I've seen him pitch a little bit. His name is Jack Neely. He's someone who he has electric stuff. He can throw about 97, 98 in his fastball, but his slider is what really gets people out. And what they're missing really is the swing and a miss guy. So if you can do something like maybe grabbing Tanner Scott or even Pete Fairbanks with the Rays, and maybe even with Pete Fairbanks you get Yandy Diaz as well. It's going to cost a lot because it's an in-division rival, but those are the kind of people who I think the Yankees should get. Starting pitching wise, Garrett Crochet, he's already, in looking at him this week, look, he's been phenomenal this season, but at the same time, this is the first time he's pitched more than 51 innings. So he's already at 111. He also said he's not going to pitch in the postseason unless they do a contract extension. So to me, that's not worth giving up Spencer Jones or any of your big prospects for. The Mets have gotten, they've gotten Phil Maton, they've gotten, Ryan Stanek as well. So for them, they're also in the market for a starter. So one person who both teams could go after is probably Jack Flaherty from Detroit. He's not a top end guy, but he's a middle of the rotation guy. The Mets could look at Jameson Taillon as well. So I think we see at least, I would hope 2 or 3 more moves from the Yankees. Probably more so 2 because I'm getting ahead of myself. It's not a video game, but but yeah. So I think that, and then maybe the Mets get a starter there to help out, especially with Senga being hurt again.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Now, the Yankees are down the turnpike right now, getting ready to take on the Phillies, who lead the NL East, but the Phillies haven't been playing great over the last several games. How big of a series is this for the Yankees to potentially capitalize on that?
It's definitely big. Now they obviously we might see some funky lineups. Either today, maybe if someone gets pulled tonight for a trade, or tomorrow too after the deadline's done. But yeah, it's obviously the pitching matchups are going to be phenomenal. I know tonight it's Luis Heel and Zach Wheeler. Tomorrow you got Garrett Cole and Aaron Nola, and then I think the series finale it's Nestor against I think it was Chris Sanchez, but they're good pitching matchups. What the Yankees got to kind of worry about here is with obviously you have your best guys going. Heel obviously still is kind of working his way back to trying to be that dominant pitcher. You can't expect him to do that all year, but in a series where the Philly fans are wild, I mean anyone from New York in general who has even been to, let alone a Phillies game, an Eagles game, knows how crazy those Philly fans are. So it's a hostile environment, which would be nice. Could be a World Series preview, but both teams got to pick it up. Now, Philly, obviously Harper, you have Harper, you have Turner, everyone like that. The Yankees pitchers have to navigate. So it should be interesting. I'm done making predictions because my predictions always go wrong, but it should be at least a competitive series, and hopefully the Yankees can take 2 out of 3 at least.
We'll just wait for it to unfold. Bobby Santoro, thanks so much for taking the time, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you for having me.
Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime.